The first one is called the touch exercise. And this is to help improve the way that we can be present with our own bodies, with our own emotions. Because sometimes that's challenging. Sometimes when emotions get too strong, we kind of run away, block it out.
Yeah. We don't want to deal with them.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So here, the exercise itself is quite simple. The rules, it's got 3 steps to it. And I'll guide you through the steps. I'll just describe it for you right now.
Yeah.
The first step is to take and touch yourself lightly. An example would be just stroke the palm of your hand very lightly.
Oh, yeah.
And if you'll notice, if you stroke it firmly, you notice that there's actually less sensation when you stroke firmly than when you stroke lightly.
Yeah.
Now, when you do that, a stroke like that, I choose the palm of the hand because it's readily available and you can see what's happening.
Yeah.
Now, when you do a touch like that, your body responds. You feel the touch and you feel what I call direct responses. In other words, the nerve endings on the palm of your hand and your fingertip both get stimulated, and those signals end up in your brain and you feel them. There is also what I call the response sensations. Those can be a wide range. They tend to be what I call visceral sensations. It's something, let me do it here for a moment. I'm feeling, for response sensations, I'm feeling a little tension around my throat and a sort of a tingling up my spine. So the response sensations can be anything for anybody.
Yeah.
That's step 1 of the exercise, is to stroke your hand like that, or the inside of your elbow or under your chin or whatever you choose. And to notice what the direct responses are, what the indirect responses are, and describe them. The describing is to make sure that we don't cheat ourselves by pretending that we notice and saying, oh yeah, I feel this and this, and until you can describe the sensations, in my book, we're not really noticing. That's the first step. The second step is to stop touching and notice what happens. Like for me, from that touch, I can still feel it, even though my hand is not touching.
Like a vibration. Yeah.
It's well, it's like call it a touch memory or something. Oh. It's like the touch and this is my personal experience. It's like the touch, the nerves didn't stop responding instantly. They slow down only slowly. And again, different people's responses are different. But for most everybody, if it's a touch that has a lot of sensation with it, and that's why I like the palm of the hand, because there are lots of sensation there, it tends to fade slowly. It may take, like, I've been playing with touch and sensations for a very long time. And for me, it can take a couple of minutes for the direct sensation to fade. So step 2 of the exercise is to notice how the direct sensations fade or change even. they may change to something sort of different. And to notice how the response sensations change. Do they go away instantly? Are you not aware of them at all? Do they take longer to go away? You know what? It's going to vary from person to person.
Yeah.
Then the third step, and it's simply notice. So this is inwardly directed mindfulness for these two steps. The next step is a wonderful, actually, it's not hypnosis directly, but it's a powerful skill that's extremely useful in hypnotic context as well. And that is to imagine that you're doing that same touch. And imagine well enough that you can actually feel the touch. Feel the direct sensations, feel the indirect sensations or response sensations, and practice that till you can actually create them. Make sense? So
yes,
as an exercise itself, it's pretty straightforward. The mechanics are, the challenge is not in describing the exercise, it's actually doing it, like learning to ride a bicycle. Until you actually learn to ride it, you don't know how to ride it.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. Palm of your hand, okay?
Yes, I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And that's good. So try to hold it so that it's in the picture. That's it. And just stroke with your finger very gently, maybe even more gentle than that. So it's just barely touching. That's it. Really gentle to get the most sensation out of it. And we'll do that for about half a minute. And notice the direct sensations. And notice your response sensations. Now, as you continue to touch, tell me what, if any, response sensations you're noticing.
Tingling right now.
A tingling where?
All over my body.
Ah, okay. So it doesn't seem to be concentrated in any one place.
No.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. And now stop the touching.
Yeah.
And notice what happens, especially to that tingling.
It's still tingling. Yeah.
That's
a little
cool. Bit. When you say it's still tingling a little bit, does that mean it's less strong, but still there?
Less strong, but still there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, and notice how long it lasts. And does it change in any of its qualities? Is it remaining steady at that lower level, or is it fading? What's it doing now?
It's not fading. It's staying just, it's still there, but a little bit less.
Okay, so it's very slowly diminishing.
Yes.
Okay, great. And it's still everywhere equally? Like,
yes.
Is it on your left ear?
No.
Ah,
So it's more, okay, so it's more like the center body.
right, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
the center,
And-
like chest and back, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you pay attention to that sensation, is it just as strong towards your back as it is towards your front?
Yes.
Okay,
It's,
okay.
it's even, yeah.
All right, all right. And how about to the side? Is it all centered near, like if you drew some sort of line in the middle of your body vertically, would it all be very close to that, or does it spread out? And if it spreads out, how much?
No, I think it's just like just the center all the way down.
Okay.
But like the feet, but just centered in a little bit with the arms, but not neck or face. I don't feel it there at all.
Okay, great, great.
Mhm.
Now, take and stroke your palm again, just for maybe 15 seconds, and notice what happens to those response sensations. Look around, check around in your sensations. Is there anything other than the tingling? And notice, did the tingling come back strong instantly? Did it build up? Is it in more places or in a larger area than before? Or is it the same?
Now it feels more, not my legs too much, but it's more my palm and back and front, like the chest and the back only. I
Okay,
feel it.
okay, so not in the center, less in, so it's more towards the surface of your body than it is deep in the middle?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, cool, cool. So, and this is not, you can stop touching for a moment.
Okay.
Okay, this is fairly typical that as you practice this, your ability to notice exactly where it is and what's happening gets better. Because this is something you, I mean,
It's new.
yeah, you haven't practiced doing this very much before.
No, right.
Probably
Yeah.
never.
No, I will now.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Mhm.
So go ahead now. When you started stroking your palm, did the sensation instantly go to full strength?
This time around?
Yeah,
Yes. It was like
okay,
more instant. Yes.
okay, okay. So stroke your palm again for just for 5 or 10 seconds and then stop and notice what happens.
It's there, but faint. It's not like strong.
Okay. Now, was it strong when you started? When
Yes.
you were stroking, it was strong.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you stopped, there was an instant when you stopped. What
Yeah.
happened to the sensation right after that instant?
It was starting to fade away.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
started to fade and just went,
Yeah.
it got less fairly rapidly.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And it was still center of your body towards the more, with more sensation towards the front of your body and the back of your body.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Did you notice any other response sensations other than that tingling in those two places?
No, just there and then just like the chest and back again still.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
let's work on the third step. You did the first step, you were easily able to feel the direct sensations and the response sensations, which is great. That means you're well connected with your body. And you were able to notice how they faded, how they kept going after a while.
Yes.
And they lasted fairly long.
Mhm.
which is interesting. Okay. Now what I want you to do is, and you can do this with your eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter,
Okay.
whichever works best for you. In fact, try both. I
Yeah.
want you to imagine, like hold your hand up in the same position you had it before
Yeah.
and imagine stroking it with your fingertip. Make it as real as you can and actually feel your fingertips stroking your palm and feel those response sensations in your body.
Yes, I do. The chest and the back
Awesome.
and in my
Awesome.
hand.
Okay, great. Okay, now open your eyes
Yeah.
and notice how they fade. Do they fade away in the same pattern that it did when you were doing the physical stroking?
About the same.
About the same. So isn't that interesting that when all you had to do was imagine that touch, you felt the same sensations in your body. Now, were they stronger, as strong, less strong than when you were doing the physical touch?
It's the same.
Pretty much the same. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Wonderful. That's cool.
Mhm.
And once you stopped imagining the touch, they
Mhm.
faded away. Did I understand that they faded away at about the same rate as
Yeah.
the physical touch?
Yes.
That is awesome.
Mhm.
Really, really awesome.
It's interesting.
And cool, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let's play with that. And you can put your hand down.
Okay.
Now, without your hand up, imagine that touch. And
I'm trying to. Um,
okay. All right. So
a little bit.
something's making this version more difficult.
Yes.
Okay. Hold your hand up again.
Yeah.
And now imagine that touch.
Yes.
You've got it?
Yes.
You feel the tingling. Okay.
Yes.
So stop imagining touching. And
Yeah.
now with your hand down near your lap, just sort of
Yes.
open your palm like this, like you did before,
Oh, okay.
but don't raise it up in the air and imagine the touch.
It's a bit better that way, a little bit. It's not as hard to imagine.
Okay. Okay. Is the sensations, the response as strong as when you had your hand up like this?
No, but there is some.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Now let's play with this. Bring your hand halfway up.
Okay.
Okay. And now, oh, that looks the same height to me as,
Oh, up.
oh,
Oh,
and halfway, like when you had it up here and we're stroking it or
oh,
imagining stroking it, you got a powerful response. When you had it down in
right.
your lap, it was
No.
there, but not as strong.
Strong, yeah.
Yeah. So
So we'll
bring your
go
hand
this
like
way.
in the middle, halfway.
Yeah.
And now imagine the touch.
I think it's better this way than it was at the bottom. I
Okay.
didn't get any
Okay.
sensation.
Okay. Now, without moving your hand, I
Yeah.
want you to imagine moving your hand up to the original position and stroking it.
Yes, it's good now. Yeah.
So it's just as strong.
About, yes. Mhm.
Is it just as strong?
It's not the strongest it can be, but it's a lot more than when I had my hand down on my lap.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's experiment. Now put your hand down on your lap.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
with your hand down on your lap, even
Yeah.
just sort of relaxed,
Yeah.
imagine holding your hand up in the original position and stroking it with your finger.
No, I don't seem to.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Mm,
So that's for you. You can open your eyes.
yeah.
For you, it seems that having a little bit of let's call it posture, like
Mhm.
positioning of your hand, for whatever reason, that makes a difference for you now.
Mhm.
You could play with that to just experiment with, how far away, because like this position was strong.
Mhm.
Now, you can experiment with two things. One is find out, is there a position where it's even stronger?
Mm.
We don't know.
No.
And what's the minimum movement you can make with your hand? Like if your hand is in your lap and relaxed with
Right.
your fingers sort of halfway bent, it's
Yeah.
hard to get anything. Is that right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. What happens if your hand is in your lap, but you've straightened it out so that it's easy to access your palm? Is it easy? Does that make it easier to imagine stroking it? Because if you think about it, you could stroke that palm with your index finger as long as the palm were exposed while it's in your lap, couldn't you?
Yes.
So that physically, that's very possible. What happens when you imagine that?
I could get some sensation with it
Okay.
not resting on my lap. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. So those are things to play with.
Okay.
All right. Now, so that's a wrap for the touch exercise.